Java coding, .NET coding, PHP coding, and the person who are running the manual test cases, that persons will come under the developers. So when it comes to the operations team, who will comes under the operations team? So who are managing the servers? Like we have a multiple servers are there. So in case of deploying your application, whatever the code you have written, for example, the Flipkart, you take it. Flipkart, somebody is developing the code here. So developers will generally develop the code, but that code, the functionality will be visible to all the people who are outside of the world. So for deploying your application, we require a servers. So creating the servers and managing the servers and deploying the application, so that will be taken care by the operations team. So there are some gaps occurred between both the teams. Some issues, they are not from the operations team. These people are not from the development background. Simply they will follow the documentation what the development team is providing. So you have to set up some software means we have to provide the steps. Open the windows, okay, click on the run button and run this command. If you get the success message, run this command. So what the development team is providing the documentation, those things only it will be provided by the running by the operations team. So now the issue comes like whenever any issue comes by the operations team, they are not able to handle on self. They are blaming onto the development team, saying that, so what are the statements, what are the commands you are provided? So that was not executed properly. You have not provided me properly. But in case of simple issues also, this operations team is not able to handle it. In that cases, to overcome this kind of a problem of blaming of each other, from development team, they have taken dev, and from operations team, they have taken ops. So they have introduced one more person called DevOps engineer. So DevOps engineer, his main responsibility is, right, is not going to write any kind of a development code like C, C++, Java code, .NET code, PHP code. He's not going to write anything. So, but he has to take care of some activities. So those activities, they have categorized into the, okay. So developers and testers will comes under the developer and operations team will be working by the operations team. The combination of the two teams, they have evaluated the DevOps. So there will be like a, so this is the DevOps architecture. So if you are developing any kind of a product, you take it, Flipkart, Gmail, Google, Amazon, any application you take it, before starting any kind of a project. So first of all, there are multiple phases involved in any kind of a project. For example, if you are going to develop any login page for your Flipkart, so that will become as a design. So for that one, we have to write the code. Whatever the code we have written by the developers, so they have to build the code. Building the code is nothing but any issues are there in the code, finding the vulnerabilities, securities, issues, test cases running. All this will be coming under the build and test phases. So whatever the product we are generated, that we have to release it. Releasing is nothing but to visible to all the people. So we are going to plan the release activities. And then finally, we are deploying the code into the environments. In the real-time scenario, we are using the keyword called environments. That is like a dev environment, SAT, UAT, and production. These environments, everything is managing, creating, everything will be taken care by the DevOps engineer. So once the application is deployed, we have to monitor the application. Any issues comes in the application, again, we need to fix the issues. Again, we need to write the code by the developers. We have to follow the build process, running the test cases, again deploy. So this whole cycle is called as an infinity cycle. Okay, so what are the product deployment we are involved in it? So we have involved multiple phases are involved in it. For that multiple phases, we are going to use some DevOps tools. Okay, so first one is environments, platforms, or operating systems. So generally we are working on the both operating systems, Windows and Linux. But Windows, everybody is familiar. If you want to create any file, right click, copy the file, Control C, Control V, right click, delete it.